I'd like to thank the chairperson for his kind introduction. I'd also like to thank the two speakers because they both began their presentations with the sharing of market research. I come from a market research company. My company is called Beijing Data 100. Admaster is monitoring the performance of advertisement, and while Touyun technology does barcoding or QR coding. My question for you is that many of you are involved in market research. That is the study of customers. If your methodology and your approach remains unchanged, how can we possibly come up with better insights? How can we possibly come up with more innovations in market research? So we have to think creatively whenever we need to use certain methodology or redefine our approach to market research. Therefore, today I'd like to answer the question, my personal take on a creative approach to market research. The previous two speakers shared with the audience a lot of data. I'd like to do something similar. When we do market research, usually our findings are I had a smart toilet seat cover installed in my home, and it benefited my 70-year-old mom. And she went online, she looked for comparable models, and she looked at the pros and cons of different models. And I sent my daughter to a bilingual kindergarten. Another interesting about this kindergarten was that the kindergarten used the cooking oil, an unbranded cooking oil, which was suspected of having health concerns among consumers. And the parents of the kids were very angry. So you see, people around you are very much informed, starting from my grandmother to the other fellow parents of kids in the same class as my daughter. Therefore, when we look at market research, don't forget that consumers can be creators as well. And do not think they are in the blind. Don't think they are only there passively answering our questions. That's my first finding. My second finding is this slide. You all find this slide familiar. We are restructuring the whole world. Have you structured your market research methodology? Do you still use the questionnaire, which involves over 100 questions, and expect the respondents to complete all the 100 questions within 1 hour? Are you using creative questionnaires or creative methodology in restructuring your market research? How to gain customer insight? How do you interact with your respondents? You need to adapt to the fragmented, fast, and mobile world. You can use mobile apps. You can use a small sample. And you don't need to use the very lengthy questionnaire with over 100 questions and expect them to focus on your questionnaire and finish everything in 1 hour. Trend number 3. In today's market research, we find that respondents are more than willing to share with you, our other fellow customers, their insights and their ideas. Therefore, can we help fostering some communities, online communities, so that they can have these great ideas shared among themselves? The successful case of Xiaomi was because they fostered this community of Xiaomi fans and helped build up the reputation of our Xiaomi products. I think many consumers are smart enough and capable enough. Ili Dairy is our client. Starting from 2012, they started to enable customers to help contribute to their new product development. because they believed that customers were able to contribute to their product innovation and was more than willing to contribute to their company's product innovation. Trend number 4, consumers want to be entertained. They like the subcultures and interesting cultures. So when you do market research, have you taken this into consideration? Do you still using that boring questionnaires to gain customer insights? Or you are just as fun and interesting as the fans of a brand? If your interaction is interesting enough, then they will take the initiative to approach you to take part in your market research. To give you one specific example, in the past, we asked our consumer, out of the 5 choices, which is your favorite? But now, our researcher asked the question, if you are a handsome guy and here there are 5 beautiful women, which one do you choose? Which one do you pick? So they frame the questions in an interesting way. And trend number 5, the brand is known to have this long tail effect. So sometimes a small and beautiful brand is just as popular if you unleash its potential. Therefore, you can empower your customers and ask your customers to do market research for you. Last year, we invited over 400,000 customers all over China to act as the company's frontline information collector of other customers. So if you are thinking creatively, you can empower your customers and ask them to do market research on behalf of you. Trend number 6, China is quickly urbanizing. The urban-rural gap is shrinking. When we do market research, in terms of the technology, we need to consider this convergence between rural and urban China. For example, in Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities, how do we conduct market research? PC-based internet has developed for 15 years, and its penetration rate is no higher than 25 to 30% in rural China. But mobile internet has developed for 3 to 5 years, and its penetration rate in urban China has exceeded that of the PC-based internet. Can you believe that? We're saying The Descendants of the Sun is a very famous TV drama. But now you can interact with other fans of this TV drama. And
we're seeing changes in consumer behavior, which means that we need to change the ways we interact with consumers. I would like to share with you some of our best practices. Consumers are more informed, they want to share with other people, and they like fun. So when we do consumer analysis, we should use the medium of the internet. I would like to introduce to you 2 very effective measures. The first is called consumer community. It is not a marketing-oriented community. It aims at analyzing and studying consumers. In this community, you can invite consumers to share with you questions, feedbacks, and any thoughts on your products. A simple example. This is a scenario study case based on consumer community concept. This is a showering and bathing case. It sounds like a private thing, but consumer community study is feasible. Consumers can tell you that when they take a shower or have a bath, there are different scenarios. At different scenarios, they have different expectations. In such communities, we would ask consumers to share with us their location, their data, their pictures, so that we'll know what they want to have in such scenarios and what their expectations are. Let's get back to the showering and bathing case. In fact, taking a shower can be related to family ties. Based on consumer feedback, we've discovered that family ties is an important factor here. Some users said that when I took a cold shower, my father told me that I could sing while taking the cold shower, and I've been doing that for 30 years. Now, a second comment would be, when I take a shower, I would brush my teeth and wash my laundry. I learned that from my mother. The third comment would be, I would shave my beard when I take a shower. I learned that from my father. Consumers would also share with us a lot of pictures. Now, this is for a client that produces water heating machines. And in fact, we could use our insight from such community study. Another example would be community study for instant noodles. When an instant noodle company launched new products, they would, for example, find a spot in Zhongshan Park, and then they would invite a number of consumers and show them, for example, 5 bowls of noodles and ask them which one is their favorite. But in this community research scenario, we have changed the study methods. We have found the right people, and we established community. We could send them via SF Express 5 packs of noodles, and we ask consumers to take pictures of making the noodles and eating these noodles. These days, mobile phones are equipped with cameras, so for a community of 300 members, do you know how many photos were uploaded to the community in a week? Over 20,000 photos were uploaded. These are examples of photos of instant noodles that they made and had at home. Such photos can be very useful to these companies to make decisions. And you could see that some people would put a chicken leg in instant noodles, some would put greens, others would put pork, and there are also people who send pictures of their kitchen. These are family pack instant noodles that we're talking about, so they want to see how they're consumed in the real setting. And I would like to say that this kind of testing can be much more accurate and effective than the original way. It helps us to get authentic data, and consumers will get an idea of where they would consume such noodles, who would they eat such noodles with. And such insight can be very helpful for the creation of strategy. Thanks to smartphones, they can take pictures with location information in these pictures. We have realized that consumers are changed. When we do consumer study, we need to change our way as well. Only when we have innovative research methods, we will be able to succeed. Now, every year, I would participate in a lot of marketing meetings, and many companies would say that we want to have more and more consumer insight. We do that in the past, but why are we saying that consumer insight is becoming increasingly difficult? Because we need to change the way we obtain consumer insight. We need to have new perspectives. And thankfully, with the development of technologies, we have innovative ways. A tool is very helpful. It's another product, an app called 拍拍转. You could download the app in Android or Apple App Store. It has two tasks. First is stay at home, the second is go out. Now, if you stay at home, it could send you a task. For example, it would ask you to take a picture of your telephone and then you'll get paid 10 yuan. Many people would say that 10 yuan is a small amount of money. Nobody wants that. But it is really fun to complete these tasks. So today we can see there are many companies that have already used such innovative and interactive ways to do market research to support their product innovation. And by doing that, we'll be able to find better and higher quality consumer insight. Now I would like to invite onto the floor two of my friends. One is from Jiangzhong Hougu, Mr. Huang, General Manager. The second is a brand consultant, Mr. Xu from Jiangzhong Hougu. They're going to talk about how to This is an interesting panel. We have representative from market research company, we have a representative from brand management company, and we have a representative from a brand owner. My question for Mr. Huang and Ms. Xu is, in the FMCG, what is the way to engage consumers in an innovative way? Now, when we talk about innovation, what is the essence of innovation? Every sector has their own module. We were involved in OTC before, but when we move to FMCG, we find there are two modules. The first is the life cycle is short. Number two, product line is often very long. When we became the strategic consultant of Jiangzhong, we wanted to find out the way for Jiangzhong to develop into a major company. And we decided to use a FMCG mentality to create functional products. Oreo is a typical example of being innovative in FMCG in 2014. It never realized that a strong competitor, Jiangzhong Hougu, that focuses on soothing your stomach, became very popular in China. During our market insight research, we discovered that people who had bad stomach functions would always bring them with soda biscuits or Oreo biscuits with them. So we thought to ourselves, maybe we could create a new biscuit that is both delicious and soothing to the stomach. Based on such an insight, we started the design and promotion processes. And I think Mr. Huang had more insight to share with us because Mr. Huang used to work in the pharmaceutical industry. Now, this is interesting because such a transformation can be massive. I think for consumers or for any of you here, you will understand that such a change or shift is quite big. And for our company, it is rather difficult because companies have their DNAs. We are a pharmaceutical company, and then we've decided to make biscuits. This is a major change. One of the major reasons is that for Jiangzhong, we always believe that being healthy should be a part of your daily life. Prevention is more important than treating of illness. That's why we decided to launch Jiangzhong Hougu biscuits. We discovered that people who have bad stomach functions like to take biscuits from time to time. We are a pharmaceutical company, so we know that Hougu mushroom is a very effective drug in treating stomach problems. So we decided we would put this mushroom, which is called Hericium arenaceus in Latin, if anyone's interested, in biscuits. And we did a lot of market research to find the right selling points. I was responsible for marketing when the branch was established, and we did find the right concept. But in order to execute our plan well, we also needed to innovate. Very simple example, after the product was launched, we put our Hougu biscuits on the shelves, but that led to a controversy because the prices were relatively high. For each box, it would cost 105 yuan. I think even if you can find a discount on the internet, it would be 99 yuan. Many people find it very surprising that such biscuits could cost so high. In their mind, a box of biscuit should be 1/10 of their price tag. We realized that consumers too find that if they consider them as biscuits, they don't want to pay such high prices. Well, we decided to demonstrate them separately so that when consumers come, they would see there is biscuits with stomach soothing function, and they will be more receptive to the price of 105. Such an example is our innovative measures to implement our marketing strategy.
After market research and gaining customer insights, we find that sometimes marketers are restricted by their own old way of thinking. We all know that this type of a mushroom has a stomach nourishing benefits, and Jiangzhong Zhiyao used to be a pharmaceutical group only, but that does not stop you from thinking creatively and enter into this new area of a business, namely stomach nourishing cookies production. Let's also take jiaduobao as an example, herbal tea, and also 6 walnuts. What's your take on the future development? Both of you. What's your take on the future developments? What are the possible challenges? Functional food is an interesting area. There were 2 specific segments. First, food that has a particular function. Second, a functional benefit is turned into a product. Jiaduobao and 6 walnuts, both are beverages products. Both produce beverages, and therefore their current biggest challenge is distribution and coverage. Their price premium is about 20 to 30% of their competitive products, while the jiaduobao, the mushroom, the monkey head mushroom biscuit, can be priced at a higher premium because it has this medical benefit, stomach nourishment. So when we set a price, we have to figure out the real value of this functional biscuit. Mr. Huang used to conduct market research before come up with the pricing point, because they were thinking of launching this functional biscuit. And they found all the average price of cookies and biscuits, and they find that imported biscuits are about 30 to 40 yuan per pack. But here they price their own product at 100 yuan per pack, and they price their products against functional products. They are not pricing their own products by benchmarking other ordinary biscuits. So how you come up with the price point shows your business logic. And it also demonstrates your choice of whom you choose to associate yourself with. But you have to deliver real value to the customers. If a patient or customer has a stomach problem, after eating your biscuit, do their stomach feel better? That is important. They are using different product lines and functional lines to satisfy different customer demands. So there is all the advantage of a pharmaceutical company to enter into the food or functional food area. This is a natural migration. It's not an abrupt embracing of a different segment. Well, my take on this, the challenges, be it Wang Laoji or Jiadobao, the two herbal tea brands, or the Six Walnuts, another important beverages brand, and also Red Bull. If I may compare these four beverages brands, the Red Bull is the typical functional drink. I feel drowsy. I need something to wake me up. Then I need Red Bull. As for Wang Laoji and Jiadobao, they're herbal tea. The Red Bull is priced at a higher premium than Jiadobao and Wang Laoji. But here, when you are buying for a pack of stomach-nourishing biscuits, you're not actually hungry. You're actually looking for this stomach-nourishing benefits. Therefore, I think function is more important than the format of the product. We will invest more in R&D. We'll also conduct clinical research, clinical trials. We'll have to make sure that we make the case our products deliver the real medical benefits. If my last question for the two of you is, innovation is critical to FMCG. Any recommendations concerning innovation in the FMCG category? We've been hearing presentations about big data, and I've been doing market research for 20 years. I think everything will have to be science-based. Big data responds to the demand for more science and solid science. Scientists will have to have a rigorous research design, and insights come from different sources, from customer research and some other channels. It's not that developing functional product lines is a great business opportunity for everybody. But if you tap into the long tail, it still can be a reasonable option to some businesses. So when you do innovation in FMCG, you need to tap into big data. For example, when we launched the monkey head mushroom, the idea came from a picture. Someone's handbag had a little pack of biscuits in it, and that person might also have a discomfort in his or her stomach. So it all began with an idea. Because at the moment, it's pretty trendy for us to develop functional products. And the Chinese have always attached great importance to this healthy diet. That was because you saw this pack of a biscuit in the handbag of your consumer, right? And that gave you this inspiration. Can you clarify? No, not exactly. In the OTC area, usually the brand all suffers from a bottleneck once the sales revenues reach the 300 million to 500 million. You all know Ma Jingli is a famous stomach pill. Now its revenues was no greater than 1 billion. is a blockbuster drug, but no greater than 1 billion. We want to break that bottleneck. And we find this unique opportunity, the combination of biscuits with therapeutic benefit or functional benefit. Everybody buys biscuits and everybody eats biscuits as a snack. But that represented the moment of truth to me. And with the support of big data, I have confidence that we can turn a stomach pill into a biscuit. But let's say if it's a pill, if it's a blockbuster pill, usually the sales capped at 1.7 billion. It cannot exceed that curse. But once it becomes a biscuit, it's a different story. Innovation in FMCG. Well, from the perspective of big data, we can have an in-depth understanding of customers' needs. Stomach nourishment is only one expectation of our customers. Maybe after data mining, we find that someone needs to help with digestion, some need the nutritional supplements, so we can come up with different product lines, different functional benefits of biscuits. That means businesses do not need to copy each other, but you can have a differentiation because at Jiangzhong Jituan, we are known for our digestive knowledge, so we can find this unique niche in the marketplace. In addition to this, I have also been thinking about the consistency of the positioning of our brand. I listened to the examples of Wang Laoji, and I want to have some interchanges with the representative from Wang Laoji in private, because Wang Laoji's slogan is it deals with internal inflammation. But now, in your recent versions of advertisements, you do not seem to play up this concept anymore. Does it mean a little shift in the orientation of your advertisement or also your positioning? And I'm looking for your answers. Well, for the past 1 day and a half, we've been listening to innovation of major brands, and usually these brands have more than 20, 30, or even 40 years of history. But today's sharing focuses on a very small idea, but with the support of big data and customer insights through market research, we can nurture a small idea and turn it into a viable commercial reality. I'd like to thank the two guests for their sharing with us. Do you have questions? Well, Madam Zhang's presentation is very impressive. Do you have questions for her? But I have this question for you, Madam Zhang. I'm from Acture. I'm the president of Acture, and I'm the chairperson of today's meeting. It gives me great pleasure to listen to your presentation. I have this question for you. Acture has some clients, Yili Diaries, and these established brands in China, and they all have this demand for cross-media marketing. The monkey head mushroom product is the result of this cross-category strategy. And my company does QR code. So once they scan the QR code, can I use a pack of a biscuit as a reward to our customers? I've been thinking about this. The poker cards producer, the largest one in China, if they scan the QR code, then they can go to the sports lottery center to get a free lottery ticket. So the sale of every product represents an entry point. It leads up to something else. Very interesting. And ask the third party to pay for that lottery ticket. Very interesting combination of different resources. What's your take on this cross-category or cross-business formats collaboration? Thank you. Mr. Huang, can you answer first? Well, that's a great recommendation, actually. Be it beer or whatever beverages, if you scan the QR code, then you give our mushroom head biscuit for free as reward. Well, I welcome this idea. at Mushroom Head biscuits, we usually have this slogan, whatever you eat might help you to nourish your stomach, be it mushroom head biscuits or cakes or beverages or whatsoever. As long as it has that ingredient, it helps achieve the stomach nourishing effect. When you play cards and if you scan your QR code, it is good for your stomach, because usually these people obsessed with the card playing will play till late night, and they might feel hungry and have this discomfort feeling in their stomach. So that's a great idea. The scanning of the QR code and also the access to our product will benefit both parties, and we welcome this creative idea. That's my response. The possibilities to talk about are very creative, and today's consumers are more than willing to experiment with a different, interesting combinations. Through our market research, we learned that the customer scan the QR code and they access the customer or fan community, and they find out more interesting information about the company, and they even help the company out by participating in a market survey and sharing with their friends the product information. So the fragmented entry will probably help you come up with a more integrated solution. Well, there might be this scenario in a not distant future that with the sales of FMCG and with the QR code enabled packaging, we can probably predict what they will do in the coming week. For example, someone has drank liquor, and then we predict in the coming 1 hour or two, they will need to hire someone to drive their own car, or they might need to hire a taxi. So the offline consumption and the multiple touch points and the multiple channels of FMCGs offline, and if they scan the barcode or QR code, that might lead to other possible sales opportunities.
Thank you. I look forward to possible partnership between actual Beijing Data 100 and Hougu. I have one question. When you want to market your product as a functional product, there might be a number of challenges. For example, the regulations say that you can't say that your food product has direct medicinal effects. For example, you can say that it could help you to deal with high blood pressure, but it can't say that it cures the disease or lowers your blood pressure. And the second challenge is that somebody might try the biscuit and they may feel no changes to their stomach, because if you want to have a healthy stomach, it takes a long time. It doesn't work right away. So my question, for example, is, it is quite expensive. When consumer buys it for the first time and doesn't find it very effective, how would you develop repeat customers? Mr. Huang, any idea? I can answer the question first. Today, when we do consumer research, we need to take full advantage of consumer perception. For example, it is true that there are many restrictions on how you can advertise Hougu biscuits. But when consumers see Hougu, they will have this perception that it is good for your stomach. Another example would be purple rice porridge. Purple rice porridge is considered in Chinese TCM to be good for your qi, and you don't have to do any promotion campaign. It is already a common perception. So in many cases, consumers want to educate consumers, but consumers now are well informed these days. We don't need to educate them anymore. We need to understand what they know and take advantage of what they know. Now, I'll give the floor to Mr. Huang to answer your question. Now, thank you very much for your question. Before the product was launched, we did talk about it with focus brand management. There are many things that we have to deal with. The first part of the question, we're never saying that we could cure your stomach problem. It's not a medicine, so we said it has a soothing effect. It's a traditional TCM concept. You can't find it in any Western medicine textbook. We would say that if your stomach is not feeling well, you could eat a bowl of porridge because it is soothing. So it is true. It is a truthful statement. It is not a medicinal treatment. And that is why we decided on this. Now, answer the second part of the question. Since we are not a medicine, it doesn't take effect immediately. How can we have repeat customers? We are priced very highly because we have a big package. And we say on the package that it can be consumed in 15 days or 30 days for a bigger package. We do not have small packages. If you want to buy, you have to spend 100 yuan to buy a package to be consumed in 15 days. When you spend so much money on a box of biscuits, you at least eat it in the first 10 to 15 days. They do not have immediate effects, but if you eat biscuits in 10 to 15 days, they will take effect. So that is one of the solutions to address that problem that you raised. After you eat them for 15 days and find the biscuits useful, then we'll have repeat consumers, right? So innovation would lead to challenges, and that's why we need to look at solutions to communicate better with consumers.